My name is Anton and this is my literacy journey. My earliest literacy domain was my own. Reading and listening to stories with family members introduced me to language as something intimate and emotional. Later, the school became a dominant domain, where literacy was formalized through textbooks, assignments, and examinations. As I grew older, digital spaces emerged as new domains. Online literacy expanded into social media, blogs, and coding platforms. Each domain demanded different forms of literacy, and moving between them taught me adaptability. Within these domains, my practices varied. At home, literacy meant listening, retelling, and eventually reading for pleasure. At school, practices shifted towards studying, summarizing, and essay writing. In digital spaces, I developed practices such as researching online and engaging in multimodal communication that combined text, images, and audio. Over time, I realized that literacy practices are not static, they evolve as new technologies and expectations arise. What began as simple reading grew into critical analysis, creative writing, and digital production. Certain events stand out as milestones. The first time I read a book independently was a defining moment, giving me confidence in my ability to learn. Writing my first essay at school was another event, where literacy became linked to achievement and evaluation. Each event was more than an isolated activity. It represented a step in my literacy development, shaping how I saw myself as a reader, writer, and communicator. My journey was guided by sponsors, people who supported, encouraged, and sometimes regulated my literacy. Family members acted as early sponsors by providing access to stories and modeling the value of reading. Teachers became sponsors in the school domain, guiding my writing and setting standards for academic literacy. Friends introduced me to digital literacies, such as coding and online communication, expanding my horizons beyond traditional reading and writing. Sponsors played a dual role. They enabled growth but also shaped the boundaries of what counted as valuable literacy in each domain. Finally, artifacts and resources were central to my development. Physical books, notebooks, and pens were the earliest tools. Later, digital devices such as laptops and smartphones became essential artifacts, enabling access to online knowledge and creative platforms. Beyond material tools, intangible resources such as curiosity, resilience, and critical thinking were equally important. These values and skills acted as internal artifacts, sustaining my engagement with literacy across changing contexts. In conclusion, my literacy narrative demonstrates that literacy is not a single skill, but a dynamic process shaped by domains, practices, events, sponsors, and artifacts.